we'll keep it pretty quick. We're Idaho Fire Lookouts. You can find us. We have a website, IdahoFireLookouts.com. We're on the Facebook, the Instagram, all the stuff's up there. So really, we just want to talk a little bit about what we do and our involvement in lookouts. We've never staffed one, but we like spending a lot of time at them, like too much probably. So our project started more that we're outdoors people. We like to hike and to do photography, and one of the most common spots we went to do these things was lookouts, because they don't put them in ugly spots, right? Like, I mean, they're always the most beautiful area. And the more of these we went to, we realized, well, there's history there. We both like history stuff, and we're like, wow, there's history there. We need to document some of this. And one of the things we like to document is lookouts that are no longer standing and trying to show what's still there today. So we started. Oh, is this?
Oh. No, you gotta give it a little click sometimes. Oh. I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So talking about our what ended up happening with Idaho Fire Lookouts is we came up with a mission that's twofold. First is to document the current state of lookouts and the people who man them, and then through time we went to an FFLA conference a couple of years ago. Oh well, there's our website. I can't remember the order of the slides. I apologize. And we started hearing more about people looking for funding to raise money for some of the restoration projects, and just what Gary was just talking about downstairs and some of that. So we thought, well, this is fun. Let's make some swag and sell it and give our proceeds to different organizations, FFLA. So one of the main ones we recommend is, like, there's some of our swag. We have some with us today. If anybody's interested, just find us or go in our Etsy store. But we then push the stuff over to FFLA. We've been able to make donations that we've given to Gary to earmark towards certain towers. And just a really good way to raise money for them.
I don't know if you noticed, but we're really good at making noise. That's like one, we're always talking, we're always posting, so that's the one thing we thought we could pass on a message, reach some more people maybe. Because we meet very few people who don't like lookouts. Lookouts are really dear to a lot of people. So just pushing that, showing the photos and just getting a message out. It's been pretty easy, and we're only running into people that are happy to find out about it. So many people want to be part of it. They ask us what they can do. So that's kind of what we're kind of trying to, we found out that there was something we could do as opposed to just making it our own, like, photography type thing. So that's,
so this is us. This is how we explore. We go, obviously we didn't take that black and white picture, but that's an example of what we set out to look for. We see a picture, we pick a mountain, and we say, we need to find what's still there today. Whether that's a standing lookout or many times it's just ruins. So if you ever hear from a mountaintop people screaming about a piece of concrete block sitting out there, it's probably us. And then we try to add it to our website, share it on the social media, and try to, again, not only document it for historical purposes, but drive interest. Maybe somebody will see it and say, hey, that's pretty cool. So this is one that we went to up near Priest Lake, Blacktail Mountain.
Sit on the table.
No, Gary's not in here.
I've been up there several times.
Okay. Well, and I'll let Kat talk more about this one, because she's
one of the ways it's the human connection. A lot of times is where the interest is generated. When we went here and we found some of these carvings in the rocks, now I'm interested by it, so that's what I'm going to be passionate about and trying to push that message. Well, not push message to me, that's just sharing because I'm so excited. But that's what connects. You want to know about those people who were there, and that's not just me. That's a lot of people. A lot of people who are interested. Who did that? Why did they do that? Well, so I saw this, and I've done some research, and my research only got me so far. Well, we just did a presentation at the Coeur d'Alene Library, and a guy came up at the end, and he's like, my family was friends with Ivan. We used to go over and I'm like, oh, freaking out. So pretty soon here, we're going to be having, lunch with him and finding more information. Now, here's one that no matter what I do, I can't figure out who this guy was. Obviously, he worked the lookout that year. What is it, 36? But my research. So if we have any ancestry people here, I need some help with that. Pam, did I
was pointing at Tom.
I'm like, did you know it? Yeah, so that's kind of and this is just picture. I like to think that that's Ivan sitting on the corner right there. It's probably not.
And then let's see, what do we have?
And then that is Ivan on the far right. in the back there. He was 22 years old when he carved into that rock in 1934. And I mean, that to me, I just have these visuals. I can now picture him working that lookout now that I have a face to the name.
So that's one of the things that's really neat to find, that even when the tower's gone, like Blacktail is obviously no longer there, these sites still hold history. They still can speak to you and give us a place to start researching and finding information. And it's really cool.
That photo was celebrating the end of Prohibition.
Is it really?
Was it?
Oh.
That's fantastic. That's great.
Well, and Gary actually talked about it a little bit in his thing, but he did actually meet Ivan, and he went to his door, and I've been kind of trying to corner Gary. What did he say? What did he do? What was he like? But I know Gary met him kind of I believe in the 80s, and so that was another thing that you do. Who do you know? Who do you know? And, I was so excited when I found out Gary knew him.
And then here's another mountain where, again, tower's long gone, but we're able to find some remnants of history. But we weren't able to track this person down.
Now, can you guys imagine? Because they weren't allowed to write their names in the cement. I just have this visual of these like CCC guys, probably in their early 20s, writing their name in the cement, just total mischievously doing it. I wish I could find these guys. These guys look amazing. In my head, they look amazing.
So that's a lot of what we're doing. We're climbing mountains. We're finding whatever we can find, documenting it, trying to then tie the story together. Kat, as she mentioned, is really good with the research of people. A lot of times we come down from the mountain and I drop Kat off at her house. My house is 15 minutes away. By the time I get home, my phone's already blowing up. I found this person. I found who this person is. I think I know who this is. So it's really cool. And then, that was an Avery,
the
right?
CCC boys from the nearby range, the camp that was near that last tower. That I like to think that some of the guys that wrote their name in the cement, it's one of those guys.
So that's kind of the research investigation portion. The other part, Gary really talked about a lot downstairs, is restoration. We have personally not done any restorations. We're not trying to take any credit for, I got the museum stuff. Had that in there. So we're really cool. The Sprague Pole Museum in Murray, Idaho, they came to us and they said, hey, we don't have an exhibit on lookouts. Can you make us one? So that's another way we're trying to get involved and educate people. So we built that exhibit that we're standing in front of there.
It got Ray's seal of approval after he saw it. So we were pretty, that was like the best thing we could have heard. And then doing some more stuff like that. So then the Museum of North Idaho, they reached out to us and they said, hey, in our old building, we have this lookout building there and it has to be completely taken apart to go to the new museum. Can you do that? And we said, no. But we know a guy.
We have friends. So we called Nate, and maybe that's what we're trying to do too, is as we meet more and more people, sometimes maybe we can establish connections. So we met Nate and forwarded him the email, and next thing you know, Nate is taking on the project, but he wouldn't let us just be communicators. He roped us in and made us help. So it worked out pretty good.
It was heavy. Somebody else had to help lift.
It was really heavy. And the floor comes apart in 2 pieces. So, and then the Museum of North Idaho, they do a history hour talk every month at the library in Coeur d'Alene. And they asked us to come down and talk. So we did. And this is proof that people love lookouts. They told us to expect 25 to 30 people, and we had 74 show up, which is the largest draw they've ever had for any talk. So if anybody ever feels alone that, hey, we're trying to save these things that nobody cares about, it's not true. The community showed up. They're very interested in preserving and hearing the history. Okay, now onto the preservation, which I'm not taking. These 4 pictures that Nate shared with me. And I wanted to tell this story because this is just a fun story about how we don't do preservation, but we try to get the word out there. We visited Nate up on Diablo, and we planned on the next day going up to Graves. And Nate told us it's not a big deal. And he shared with us the history about how they got guys up there to restore. And
Who
anyways,
here has hiked to Graves? Okay, would you say it's not a big deal? Easy hike? Okay.
Nate told us it wasn't a big deal. So as we're driving up there, Leaf is coming down and he's telling us about these stories about these guys Sherping stuff out there. And Kat very happily says, I want to carry some windows up and help.
Easy hike.
And this is why we haven't helped with that yet. That's the peak. And on our way up to the peak, that's Kat. So to this day, we have not carried a window up there for Leaf. We apologize. But we can at least tell people that there's restoration efforts going on.
It wasn't even
There's still
posed. It was
11
gonna take
windows
too
to
much
be
energy
carried
to
up.
lay down. I just needed a rock.
So, and then these are some lookouts that are getting attention currently, which we just thought was cool. So we're highlighting it. Obviously, Gary talked about Lookout Mountain and the attention that's getting and everything's Pam's doing for there. And then Little Guard's getting some work done on it this year, which is one on the rental program in the Coeur d'Alene National Forest.
We just talked to the archaeologist like last week and they said it's still going forward. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
So yeah, the world just, as we hear about these things, we're gonna try to share as much of them as possible on our social to help drum up people that want to donate money to the FFLA and help drum up interest, people who want to volunteer their time. Again, we're just trying to help make those connections and
We
get
make
people
noise.
involved.
That's what we do. We make noise.
Yeah, we're loud. And then one of the fun things we started recently was a book club. So, well,
We just read books. It's, you know what, we got together with Luke from the Lookout podcast. He mentioned a couple books, we mentioned a couple books. The next thing you know, we're like, we should do a Lookout book club. And then obviously we did. And we've read some great ones. We've read some real dogs. But most of them are really good. And we do as best we can. We get together with the author at the end of the month and I'll talk about the book. And a
Just
lot of
via
times,
Zoom?
yeah. It's, I'll tell you what, we've read books that I would normally have not picked up that have just kind of changed my life a little bit. And we've read some dogs that, you know.
but if you like reading about the lookout history, Forest Service, firefighting, you know,
Yeah.
take a look on our Facebook for where we recommend some books. And if you want, jump on a Skype or whatever, Zoom, or I don't know what technology it is. One of those, we put a link out, Google, I think, every month and share your thoughts. We spend half the time some of the people are lookouts and it's really fun because like one of the people, a couple people have joined, Kevin, he'll join in from his lookout in the summer. We have another lookout, Gracie. So it's cool. We have people signing on to chat about the books while they're sitting in their lookouts in the summer. And one we had that was really awesome this summer is Gracie was late to sign on and she comes up and she says, sorry, I'm late. I just called in my first smoke. And so we spent half the time talking about her in the tower instead of the book, but it's just a really cool way to connect with people in this world. Oh, and then this was a project that Kat did.
Okay, so we asked a bunch of lookouts, active lookouts, on, you know, if we made a sign, because we're hearing horror stories. Because, you know, every once in a while, it sounds like unfortunately has a horror story about the people who come up. And hopefully that's, you know, not the normal. Anyway, but we said, if we made you a sign, what would you want it to say? So this is, and if you want to take some home, if you don't.
Got a whole stack of them here
Yeah,
for
if
you.
you know
lookouts.
somebody who needs one, we'll mail it to them. We just put some signs together and we've done as best we can to push the message where we can and as often as we can at a, you know, a store, at a gas station, whatever, that's close to lookouts, whatever, we'll stick one up on their bulletin board or whatever. But I mean, it's just common sense, you would think. Yeah, it's just, we just put together what you guys wanted a sign to say if somebody needed some rules.
And that's, I guess, another part of our mission is to try to advocate for the lookouts that are active when people share stuff with us
It
like
does
this.
say on the bottom, you know, bring a treat.
I like that. Thank you.
Everyone has told us, if you're curious what to take a lookout, if you don't know, everyone has told us if you can bring it up, they want ice cream. That's what
Yes.
everyone has told us. Bring ice cream.
Bring your own water.
Bring your own water.
Beer is good.
This is wrapping up. We just have a couple pictures and one of the big fundraisers for FFLA that they do every year is their calendar. So we highly recommend, if you don't, buy their calendar in the fall. We were lucky enough to make the cover. This was one of our photos and it was on the cover a couple of years ago. So that was pretty cool. Oh, look, how is it? Is that, I think it's Big Eddie. I think so. That's Kat in the picture with the headlines.
Oh, wow.
was to say, well, and this year we were submitting pictures. I'm like, why? Mark's gonna get them all. Or Mike, where's Mike? Anyway.
But yeah, I think that was that's kind of a quick rundown of what we do and who we are and kind of how we're trying to support Lookouts in our own little way.
Yay.
Close in the dark, everybody needs one, right?
Oh, show your earrings, show your earrings.
Oh, we have you guys, we have everything.
Yeah.
Anything that has anything to do with Lookouts, and all the profits are going to FFLA. So if you guys want to take home earrings or stickers or, yeah, we got it.